This might be a controversial statement, but most innovation teams aren't bad at finding new technologies. They're bad at turning new technologies into something people actually want, and the financial impact of that gap is staggering. 40% of new innovations fail to mature into a commercial platform. Now, this isn't because the technology wasn't impressive or the engineers weren't brilliant. It's for the same reason that internal teams fail to achieve buy-in and resources from senior leadership. Just like your end consumer, the people at the decision making table all value different metrics, and you have one shot to make them feel something. So, how do you recognize the inflection points that push one innovation over another? A critical hurdle begins when science driven teams equate metrics and specific function as key selling points. An emotional reaction and connection is just as important as a hidden functional value. Professor Clayton Christensen described the issue perfectly. With few exceptions, every job people need or want to do has a social, functional, and emotional dimension. Which then begs the question, how do we turn functional gear into symbolic and cultural artifacts? Hi, I'm Alon, and with more than a decade in global fashion and sporting goods, I saw one pattern that keeps repeating itself. Great technologies don't automatically become great products. And let's look at exactly where that gap lives and how the best teams close it. Look at the Adidas Boost technology, an incredibly lucrative and successful tech that was actually supposed to be owned by Puma. Back in 2009, a German chemical company had developed something truly remarkable, a particle expanding PU foam that was simultaneously soft, lightweight, and returned energy like nothing the footwear industry had ever seen. When they started shopping the tech around, Puma was first in line. There was real interest, but somewhere inside the organization, the momentum stalled. No one was willing to commit resources to find out what the tech could become. And so what looked to Puma like a one-off innovation found its way across the road to their competitors at Adidas. Now here's what Adidas did differently, and it had nothing to do with the chemistry. They were able to look at the potential of a single material and turn it into a clear landing spot. And then another one. And another one. The ATPU evolved into the Boost platform, and it showed up in running shoes, then lifestyle, then everything in between, proving that a single material can stay commercially relevant for over a decade because the team behind it built a clear architecture around it. Puma spent years trying to recover from that decision. In 2021, Puma's own CEO would admit that passing up the ATPU tech was a huge blow to their innovation efforts and credibility. They were able to rebuild that in 2021 with their Nitro shoe. Think about that. A decade in one of the most competitive categories in sport. The winning brand and the winning team weren't the ones with the best material. They were the ones who turned that material into a clear story with a landing spot, a consumer who needed it, and the internal conviction to see it through. That bridge between what a technology does and what it means for someone's life is exactly what we're going to be building here together. So what actually works? The first is lead with a story, not specification. Neuroscience validates this. When we hear a well-structured narrative, our brains release dopamine, which drives attention and decision making. Data informs, but story moves people to act. So before you show a material cross-section or perhaps a compression test result, open with the consumer. A real moment, a frustration someone actually has. Make the room feel the problem before you offer the solution. The second is name your consumer before you name your category. This is a major moment in the preparation process. It's not enough for teams to say this works for running to define a good landing spot. A landing spot isn't a category. It's a specific person with a specific need at a specific moment in their life, and all at a price they're willing to pay. Get this right, and every stakeholder conversation that follows gets a lot easier. The third is show the platform, not just the product. A single product is easy to dismiss, but a platform, a hero product and a commercial cascade is much harder to ignore. Show where it goes next, and then where it goes after that. Before your next innovation review, ask yourself these 3 questions to prepare. Can you name a specific consumer and describe exactly how this technology will change or heighten their experience? 2, can you connect this technology to a measurable commercial outcome? And 3 is, can you tell this story in 60 seconds to someone who's never heard of this technology before and make them understand the benefit? The last one is the foundation to your presentation overview. Remember, you're not just pitching a solution, you're pitching a product. And that is the difference between an idea that earns resources and the ones that gets shelved. Great technologies don't automatically become great products, but the teams that understand the social, the emotional, and the functional metrics and build a clear story around all three are the teams that close that gap. If this resonated with you, I'd love to know what's been the hardest part of earning buy-in in your organization or efforts. Drop in the comments and share this with someone else the next time they're preparing for a big handover presentation. Thank you for watching.